Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the Golden Cross. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. You'll get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, and more. Okay, the risk dashboard is what I used back in April and May to show me that the market was extremely overheated and needed a pullback. It wasn't just looking at the market cycle ROI, it was looking at the risk on Bitcoin, which was above 0.9 risk. We've used it for other things as well, for altcoins and whatnot, but Bitcoin is the main one to focus on because the risk metric does account for diminishing returns. Let's go ahead and jump in. So we've talked about this Golden Cross, okay? And we have it. We finally have this nebulous Golden Cross. And if you take a look at when we had Death Cross, the Golden Cross occurred about 3 months later. Those 3 months seem to keep popping up everywhere, right? 3 months later. Okay, so we were 3 months removed from the Death Cross. Now, historically speaking, a Golden Cross does not necessarily have to mean that the price will surge in the short term. Okay, it does not mean that. In fact, if you go back and look at history, there's examples of it doing both things. All right, and actually today we can see that the price is surging. Okay, but if we go back and look at, say, this Golden Cross, in the short term, the price dipped. If we go back and look at this one in the short term, maybe the price went up a little bit and then it dipped. This Golden Cross, the price dipped and then continued moving up. But if we go back to, say, the last cycle, here's a Golden Cross where the price actually went up like 50% or 70%. Let's see, from the Golden Cross, so like right here, the price went up around 61%, and then it had a pullback actually to where the Golden Cross occurred, and then it continued on moving up. So Golden Crosses, again, they're not meant to tell you what's going to happen on that day. They're more so looking at long-term momentum shifts in the market. And hopefully, at the very least, a Golden Cross now is either indicative of a incoming second leg to the market cycle, or it would be indicative of hopefully a long reaccumulation phase. Because again, if you go back and look at say this phase over here and you remove the price because the price is noise, you can see that it did not necessarily lead to immediate new all-time highs, but the next time a Golden Cross occurred, it was much higher than where this first Golden Cross occurred. So the Golden Cross, again, it generally shows these long-term momentum shifts in the market, and today we're pumping, right? We're slowly moving up. Now, we will want to keep an eye on the bull market support band because we are now moving away from it. If we go, there are a few exchanges where we've already tested it, right? I mean, we've already tested the bull. I mean, we've tested it on all exchanges. Here's a wick between the 21-week EMA and the 20-week SMA. Another wick down to just below the 21-week EMA. Again, some exchanges already had us going down to the 20-week moving average, right? Here we went down to the 20-week SMA. The next wick took us down to the 21-week EMA. Are we out of the woods, right? I mean, I don't think we can fully say. I'm not sure that a wick will be enough to propel us to immediate new all-time highs down to the 20-week, but we've seen that happen before, okay? I mean, to say that can't be the case is ignoring history when, we had a test of the 20-week here, and then we put in new all-time highs. Also, we had a wick to the 20-week here, and then we put in new all-time highs. So to say that can't be a valid test is probably a little bit too deterministic. Okay, it's probably a little bit too deterministic. What I would say is getting a move off of this is actually a good thing. If you guys remember to the last Bitcoin bull market support band update, I said, if Bitcoin can give us a couple of weeks before really testing the 20-week on the weekly time frame, like if it gives us, say, 2 or 3 weeks, then we're going to actually start to see the 20-week moving average start to roll back up, okay? Ideally speaking, we would like to have weekly tests on the 20-week while it's moving up, not while it's moving down. For instance, we tested it here while it was moving up. In 2016 and 2017, we kept testing it while it was moving up. When it's going sideways or moving down, it doesn't always work out, right? It doesn't always work out. So if anything, if we are meant to have a long weekly test of the bull market support band, this price surge in the short term, what it's doing is buying us time. What is it buying us time for? It's buying us time for us to start excluding these candles over here, okay? Which are like if you think about it, like for instance, if we replace this price with a lower price, then the 20-week is going to move down, right? It's going to keep moving down here. But eventually, once we no longer have this data to even look at, and the 20-week moving average, say, only remembers starting from May 17th, in order for us to get to that point, we would need to get out until the first week of October, okay? So by the first week of October, this is all the 20-week is going to know. And at this point, if the price of Bitcoin is still hanging out up here, we would expect the 20 weeks going to flatten and it's going to start moving up. And if that's the case, well, maybe not move up that quickly. It depends on what the price of Bitcoin does. But if that's the case, then this is ideal. I mean, this would be the ideal scenario for Bitcoin. Now, the ideal scenario doesn't always play out. For instance, if you go back and look at this past leg to the cycle, we didn't really test the 20-week moving average at all. And then once we did, we were too far gone to hold it. I don't know about you, but I would prefer something like this if we can get it. Now, you might say, well, there's no reason that should happen where we just keep testing the 20-week. There's no reason why that should happen, considering that, Ben, all you've said for the last, 10 months is how we're emulating the 2013 move. And I feel like, again, we are emulating the 2013 move, albeit it seems like it's stretched out a bit, okay? The 2013 cycle, it's been stretched out significantly, okay? So when we look at this, the second leg to the cycle, it did not test the 20-week either, just like the first one did. And then once it did test it, we were too far gone. So we should probably keep that scenario in mind. If, let's say in a few months, we find ourselves not really testing the 20-week anymore, and we're just moving up, and we're moving up, and we're moving up, and we never test it, then it's more likely than not that we're going to have a repeat of this type of move where we just go a long time without testing it, and then we ultimately break it. Okay, so like if we do something like that, and then we go a long time without actually testing it, and let's say we go to, let's say we go to 150K by May of 2022. Okay, so let's just assume we do something like that. If we're not testing the 20-week, then my speculation would be that whenever we do roll over and test it, we probably won't hold it as support. So ideally, it would actually be a little bit nicer, I think, to actually test the 20-week moving average every 2 to 3 months. Why? Because it sort of rejuvenates the market and says, all right, go on, you have another 2 to 3 months to go before we have to test it again. If we don't test it, then for a long time, for say, 3, 4, 5 months in a row, then what it means is that whenever we do test it, we are highly unlikely to hold it as support. That's exactly what happened here. Okay, that's exactly what happened in April and May here, and then in May we tested it as support and we did not hold it. It's also what happened at the end of this cycle when we went so long without testing it, we ultimately did not hold it. Same thing here, we did not test the 20-week for months and months and months, and then we did not hold it, and so on and so forth. Again, here, we did not test it for a long time, and then we ultimately did not hold it. So ideally speaking, we would hold it every few months, but we don't necessarily live in an ideal world. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the premium list at intothe.cryptoverse.com. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on your notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye.